Whatever they are, whatever the film or the Eurovision drama, it's coffee time. This is Emmanuel calling from Coffee Break, where we take a break and discuss about films, Eurovision and much more. Grab yourself a mug of hot tea or coffee, take a sip and let's dive into this. Let's talk about my 2027 Best Director Oscar predictions. Christopher Nolan is my current frontrunner, at least for a nomination. Could he win again so recently after his win for Oppenheimer? He could. I mean, Alejandro Iñárritu won 2 years in a row for The Revenant and Birdman the year before. So Christopher Nolan, being a very highly respected filmmaker and so prolific over the decades, and he has made so many films that so many people have worshipped over the years, and it looks like from the trailers that he's going to do a remarkable job with his directing in The Odyssey, then I think that he could win again, even though I have doubts about the movie winning Best Picture, which could happen, but I'm currently not that certain that it will, so I'm not going to predict a split where the film that wins Best Director doesn't also win Best Picture. The last time it happened, it was in 2022, where Jane Campion won for The Power of the Dog, but the Best Picture prize went to Coda. And I was predicting Brady Corbet to win Best Director for The Brutalist and Best Picture to go to Anora, and Sean Baker ended up getting both. Last year I was predicting Paul Thomas Anderson to win Best Director and then Sinners to win Best Picture. So I'm not going to go out of my way to predict a split again, unless it's a very locked situation where Christopher Nolan has the narrative to win his second Oscar and maybe another movie has the biggest chances of getting Best Picture, but that film's director doesn't really have the narrative or the momentum, or he's not even nominated in the case of Coda. So in that case, I would predict Christopher Nolan to win, but right now I just have him at number one just because I'm not very confident about anyone else winning. Javier Ambrosi and Javier Calvo are the two directors who co-directed La Bola Negra, which premiered at the Cannes Film Festival and won them a Best Director prize, along with Paweł Pawlikowski, who they shared the prize with. And La Bola Negra is the one film that I'm most confident about predicting to win Best Picture, so could it be a Daniels situation where Everything Everywhere All at Once won Best Picture and also won Best Director for the Daniels? Could La Bola Negra win Best Picture? I'm not currently predicting it, but I think that it's a top 3 contender as of right now. Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 3 is an overdue director to win, but he was also snubbed for both Dune films. And I didn't watch Dune Part 2, but his work in Dune from 2021 is remarkable, so he has to get in for the third one. I mean, currently I'm predicting Dune Part 3 to outperform the previous 2 films, where it gets in costume design and maybe an acting category for Robert Pattinson and Best Adapted Screenplay. So could Denis Villeneuve come along for the ride? I think he can, and I am predicting for him to will, because he could be awarded for all 3 films, where his nomination would be like an achievement award for all 3 films. I mean, he'll definitely get DGA, which is the Directors Guild, and he could get in Critics' Choice as well. I could see BAFTA snubbing him and potentially Golden Globes, especially now that the voting members have been more embracing of international directors as of recent. but right now I have him as a lock. Alejandro G. Iñárritu for Digger. Now, could Alejandro G. Iñárritu be considered as a director who has had his moment and that he doesn't really need to get in for Digger? But because I consider the film a top 5 contender, I think that his work will get recognized because it's going to be very showy. It's a broad comedy, sort of a Doctor Strangelove type of picture, and his directing is always a highlight, and it could rub some people the wrong way, the way that it's very noticeable and very recognizable. But Digger being a much bigger contender, I think that Alejandro G. Iñárritu in a field of 5 is a safe bet as of right now. And before I give you my 5th slot as of July of who I think is going to get in Best Director, I'm going to throw some other names around that I think have a shot. Christian Mungiu won his 2nd Palme d'Or at this Cannes Film Festival, and it could be a Anatomy of a Fall situation or a Triangle of Sadness situation where both directors got in at the Oscars. And Christian Mungiu has been a very well-respected filmmaker in the international branch, and it's someone who the director's branch will embrace. But then again, Jafar Panahi last year was snubbed for It Was Just an Accident, and I'm not really sure that DGA is going to go for Christian Mungiu, and Critics' Choice could also snub him, and BAFTA as well, so he could get in at Critics' Choice, I guess, and then the Oscars. But I'm just not confident that Fjord is going to be a major awards player. Maybe it gets in at Best Original Screenplay and that's it. I could see it getting in at Picture and Director and Actor and Actress for Sebastian Stan and Renata Reinsva, and potentially casting. But right now I'm currently predicting it to only get in at Best Original Screenplay and Best International Feature. But if the movie becomes a staple of the Best Picture category and it's very possible that it gets in, then I would consider squeezing him in the 5. Ryusuke Hamaguchi is the Japanese director behind the film All of a Sudden, which premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, and it won Best Actress for both of the lead actresses. Could he be the international director who the director's branch will embrace? I do have All of a Sudden getting in at Picture and that the Screenplay and International Feature, so could Ryusuke Hamaguchi get his 2nd Oscar nomination? He was of course nominated for Drive My Car, which also got in at Picture and Screenplay. But I don't know, I mean, I could kick Alejandro G. Iñárritu out. I think that of the 4 that I currently have in, he is the most vulnerable here. But Digger is a much bigger Best Picture contender than All of a Sudden is, and All of a Sudden can have a Picture, International Feature and adapted screenplay combo, and this could be where the nominations for that movie end. Martin McDonagh for Wild Horse 9 is one that I have very little faith about. If the movie happens and it's big and it gets in 9 or 10 categories, then he'll definitely get a Best Director nomination. I'm just not that confident that the movie will overperform to that extent. I have to see what the first reactions of the movie are and whether the film is as highly regarded as The Banshees of Inisherin, or it's sort of a movie where we all thought was a big award contender and ended up not being one. Beth de Araujo is the director of the film Josephine, which premiered at the Berlin and the Sundance Film Festival, and it was very recently where I found out that she directed the movie Soft and Quiet, which was a terrible movie. It was a really bad movie, bad with a capital B. I hated that movie. and I didn't realize that she directed it and that I was considering her as a potential 5th place in the Best Director category, because we don't have that many female contenders this year, and for the past few years there always has been a female director in the field. Whether it's Chloe Zhao or Coralie Fargeau or even Justine Triet, there has been a female contender in the Best Director category, and this could change. I mean, this could be the year where we don't have a female director nominated at the Oscars and we just have the category be all male directors. This could definitely happen, but I don't know. I think that one female director will get her chance to be nominated, and I currently don't think that is Beth de Araujo for Josephine, because that movie might not get in at picture and original screenplay and supporting actor and casting, which is its nomination ceiling. And I'm not predicting it right now to get in at all of those categories, but if the movie happens, she could be a director that the director's branch will embrace. And finally, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller for Project Hail Mary. I don't know, they seem like the big blockbuster directors whose movie gets in at picture and a bunch of other categories, but they don't get to be nominated. I mean, I definitely could see DGA going for them and potentially Critics' Choice. But then again, James Mangold only got DGA and then he was nominated at the Oscars for A Complete Unknown. But James Mangold had been such a prolific filmmaker, where Phil Lord and Christopher Miller have been known for producing the Spider-Verse movies and for directing the Lego movie and the 21 and 22 Jump Street movie. So the Academy could go for a more seasoned and sophisticated international name. But Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are on the table to receive an Oscar nomination for Project Hail Mary. Who do I think is going to get in at Best Director? I currently have Sian Heder for Being Human. She is the female contender that I'm currently predicting to get in at Best Director. She wasn't even nominated for Coda, which went on to win Best Picture at the Oscars, and she is coming back with another biopic about disability, and I'm currently predicting it to be a major awards contender. I can see it getting in at picture and adapted screenplay potentially, and actress for Ruth Madeley, and casting. I think that all of those categories are very much so on the table, and Best Director, the category has been very stagnant of female contenders, as I've talked about, and I think that she has the biggest chance of getting in, and that's why I'm predicting her in this video. So my 2027 Oscar predictions for Best Director as of July is Christopher Nolan for The Odyssey, Javier Ambrosi and Javier Calvo for La Bola Negra, Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 3, Alejandro G. Iñárritu for Digger, and Sian Heder for Being Human. And that is a wrap. Thanks so much for watching, I do appreciate it. Also make sure to follow me on multiple social media platforms, including Letterboxd, for more film related content, and X and Pinterest, the links are in the description. Can't wait for more coffee breaks. And until next time, pour yourself a fresh one.